All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing, and today I want to talk about a company called Greenidge Generation, stock ticker GREE. This is a follow-up. I have done a few videos on Greenidge. They recently did a merger with support.com, and this is the new company, so this is kind of a follow-up to the previous few videos that I've done. A lot of stuff has gone on, so I just want to briefly go through what Greenidge is and what they do, and then let's get straight to the chart, look at what has happened since the merger, and I want to give you my thoughts on where the stock is now, where the stock price may be headed in the short term, as well as my thoughts on what the long-term outlook for this stock is. With that said, let's get started. So real quickly, Greenidge Generation, this is their website. This is the press release that they put out announcing their merger with support.com. Now that closed last week. Greenidge Generation Holding expects to be the first publicly traded Bitcoin mining company with a wholly owned power plant. So that's kind of their angle as to what makes them a little bit different. Greenidge expects to achieve calendar year 2021 earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization in excess of $50 million. So this year, they plan on being profitable. In addition to that, they say by the end of 2022, they're going to have a run rate in excess of $160 million of profitability. So this is some good stuff. This is a Bitcoin mining company. They're already up and running, and they're already projecting a profit for this year and then a bigger profit for next year. Those are good signs. So I want to go through the good and the bad on this. I'm going to try not to leave anything out because there's a lot of good things that these guys are doing, but unfortunately from a valuation standpoint, there's a lot of negative things here in the short term. So I'm going to try and pull those together and see if we can make sense out of it. So the last bullet point I'll go through is hash rate of 1.1 exahash per second, which is expected to grow to 2.6 exahash per second in the year 2022. So that means they're already operating with over 1 exahash. That puts them roughly the size of Bitfarms, Hut 8, Bit Digital, and CleanSpark. A couple of those companies that I mentioned are actually a little bit bigger than this one. A couple are a little smaller, but that is the class of Bitcoin miners, I guess, that I would put that in. There are two much larger Bitcoin miners currently trading on the NASDAQ, and that is Marathon and Riot. They're over 2 exahash. A lot of these companies have plans to be much, much, much bigger, which leads me to the last bullet point that I want to read. Based on its current build-out and expansion expectations, Greenidge expects to have at least 500 megawatts of mining capacity by the year 2025. 500 megawatts of mining capacity would make them more than twice as large as all of the companies that I just named. Now, obviously, in the same period of time, this is over the next 4 years, all of those companies are going to get much bigger as well. Each of those companies that I've named already has large purchase orders in to dramatically increase the amount of mining that they will be doing. I think we can expect for as long as Bitcoin is healthy, everybody's going to be buying these machines as fast as they can and increasing their hash rate at which they can mine Bitcoin. So they have big plans. So I'm not going to say that that would make them the biggest because I think there's a lot of people already ahead of them. But at 500 megawatts, that would make them a very large Bitcoin miner. There's been one update since the merger, so I want to quickly show you that press release. So remember they said they were at 1.1 exahash right now. They want to be at 2.6 exahash by the end of next year. Well, they did a press release the other day. Greenidge to expand Bitcoin mining fleet with order of latest generation mining machines from Bitmain. Greenidge orders 10,000 S19j Pro Bitcoin miners representing 1 exahash of mining capacity. They're at 1.1. They're buying another 10,000 machines, all of which they expect by the third quarter of 2022. So that gets them most of the way to their goal of 2.6 exahash by the end of 2022. So that's a development that has happened subsequent to the merger, so that's some good news. It's after the bell on Thursday, September 23rd, and Greenidge closed on the day at $25.40. It looks like currently as I'm making this video, it's trading in after hours at $25.31. What I wanted to show you first is, without doing the whole rundown, if you take a look at all of the Bitcoin mining stocks, This was an extremely green day for Bitcoin mining companies. Greenidge is the only one that I track that was red today, and it was down 12.68%. So that was not a good day for Greenidge. Once again, unfortunately, people who owned the support stock and who have come over here to Greenidge are all too familiar with these down days. This stock is down 80 to 90% in the last few weeks. So this is the Greenidge chart. You'll see what I've done is right here is the opening day of trading. This is 9:30 in the morning on September 15th. So according to this, it opened at $59.50. I know there was pre-trading at much higher numbers than that, and the stock conversion ratio from support.com was even much higher than that. So the stock dropped drastically from the close on Tuesday to the open on Wednesday, and then it actually went down all day Wednesday until it closed here at about $40 after its first day of trading. It went from 40 the next day, closing at about 43. So that was an up day. And then you can see it actually gapped way up here at the open to almost 50, and then kind of went down on the day, ended here. So we went from 40 to 43. On the next day of trading, we went back down to about 39. After a couple of days of trading, as I was looking at this chart, I was hopeful that you would see right here, somewhere in the $40 range. I thought maybe we were finding some support over these couple of days. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The next trend was a big down day. We were seeing a little bit of a trend and hoping to find maybe some support right here in the $28 or $29 range. But unfortunately, based on today's price action, it looks like that didn't happen. So if we look at what happened today, we ran from 29 down to $25. And that's where we closed at about $25.40. That represents a 12.68% decrease on the day. So that is doubly concerning. Not only is that another leg down past what I was hoping may have been support at $29, but it also did so on a day where all the other Bitcoin miners had a good day. So Bitcoin was up 2% today. The Bitcoin miners had a green day. So everything was up, Bitcoin was up, and yet, unfortunately, Greenidge was down again 12.68%. So that was very concerning to me. It looked like that line at $29 of support did not hold up at all, and we've headed lower. Okay, so this is a chart that I put together that basically compares the market cap of Greenidge to the market cap of its competitors that I mentioned. Now, at the top, you'll see Marathon and Riot. Marathon's market cap is $3.7 billion. Riot's is $2.8 billion. Those two companies are so much larger than everybody else that I'm going to leave them out of the conversation for now. They're not really apples to apples. I will tell you that, in my opinion, in specific, Hut 8 and Bitfarms have made a lot of progress towards catching up to Marathon and Riot. So I think in a year, all of those companies may look pretty similar, but at the moment, Marathon and Riot have set themselves apart. So if we look at Hut, they have a market cap of $1.4 billion. Hive Blockchain has a market cap of $1.1 billion. Bitfarms has a market cap of $830 million. Bit Digital has a market cap of $532 million. And CleanSpark has a market cap of $422 million. This information is from Yahoo. These are, in general, fairly accurate, but you'll note at the top of here I put not financial advice. These amounts represent some estimates and projections, so please don't rely on this to be exactly correct. Do your own due diligence, but I think this gets us in the ballpark. So Greenidge at the end of the day today had a market cap of $974 million. So if I compare that, just strictly comparing on a market cap basis, if we were to adjust the price of Greenidge, which closed the day today at $25.40, to be comparable to some of these other companies in market cap, I did a conversion of what the stock price would be. So at the top of the list, you'll see Hut. That's at about $38. And if you remember, on those first couple of days, it looked like maybe we were finding a line of support somewhere at around $39. That did not happen. Greenidge stock price adjusted to Hive's market cap would be $29. You'll see the next few days, if you remember, it looked like we were forming some support at the $29 level. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So today, we moved down to $25.40, which is underneath Hive, but it is above Bitfarms. So if we were to adjust Greenidge to be a market cap similar to Bitfarm, then that would come out to about a $21.66 share price. So that represents about a 15% decrease from where we are right now. If we were to adjust it to Bit Digital, that would come out to a $13.88 share price, which is a 45% reduction from where it is right now. And if we were to adjust it down to where CleanSpark is currently trading, that would be an $11 share price, which is a 57% decrease from where it is trading right now today. So you'll see that is a very wide gap. So I am still not sure how to value this stock. The one good news is, from a long-term standpoint, if you are buying and holding this and you are a long-term investor and you are bullish on Bitcoin, which I am, I believe every single name on this list is dramatically undervalued. So I think anybody who's holding these stocks for the next 2 or 3 years is going to end up happy at the end of that period of time. But just how long it's going to take for that to come to fruition, I don't know. All of these stocks represent a long-term buy and hold, and I do own several of these stocks. As I mentioned earlier, Hut and Bitfarm are two of my larger positions, and I do own others past that. I do not currently own any Greenidge. I have not now, nor have I ever shorted Greenidge. Shorting is not my thing, not financial advice, but I would recommend to leave that to the experts. Since this stock opened last week, we are already down 57%. If we go back to that list, there's the potential to go down another 57%. I don't believe it's going to get down to $13 or $14 or $11. Having said that, this stock has done nothing but go down in a straight line for a long time. So in the short term, I think that possibility exists. In the long term, I think we've talked about a lot of positive things that are happening with this company. I am not sure what to do with this stock. I'm staying away from it, but I just think it's important that everybody sees this analysis and understands the potential volatility that still remains. Those are my thoughts on Greenidge. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.